about to begin as we will see who will be walking out alive in this matchup between EVOS SG versus VEC Fantasy Main.
The deciding game of Group A, and it comes down to Singapore, Malaysia against Vietnam. Can Vietnam break through that Great Wall, or will EVOS SG stand?
Well, we're talking about walls here. There should be no barricades separating them from what they are looking for, the prize. The prize pool of $250,000 up for grab. But look at Soto right in between all these members of VFM. Of course, pretty much of a gutsy move coming in from Seoul, but you know, Masha is pretty hard to take down, especially in level 1. But look at the side of EVOS SG playing their signature style, just being aggressive on those raid spates. But from the side of VEC Fantasy Main, they're replying with the same sort of response over on the bottom side of the jungle.
And Game 3 is always the most fun game to watch because everything just goes out the window. Now, instead of playing traditionally, playing by textbook, you're looking at both teams who want to try something wacky themselves. So they're trying to go for Broly, but not a good choice right there. 3 members from BFM in the vicinity, forcing this Masha back.
Well, we're just seeing Seoul here buying a little bit more time for himself. But look at JLPL, they'll bring up the walls, and now it's going to be Lucky jumping in between, trying to clear out the whip. This might just be first blood in the hands of EVO Singapore.
Yeah, EVO Singapore, they know that they had that siege minions, that siege wave. There was no way this level 2 archive would clear that wave out in time, and they just pounced on him, getting that first blood. VFM, they tried to go for a similar response on that bottom lane onto Seoul, not able to get the same result.
Yeah, and we're seeing a rival for the side of the Tamas, as well as a great sprint for the Kai and for VFM here. We're already seeing them getting into position, trying to catch out JPL, but look at that go. And EVOS SG, they had some clear-cut options over on the top side, and they've already opened up a little bit more space for themselves as they try to secure the first turtle of the game.
Yeah, when you play against Kimi, you have to always keep in mind that your structures are actually just jello against this Gatling gun of the particular hero. But VFM, we talk about how they use all this space to secure objectives. They just got their first turtle of the game.
That's right, and of course, speaking of securing something right there, there's something for you guys to secure with the redemption code as well. But oh my goodness!
T-Max.
Oh, that was way too close.
Yeah, his fingers must be severely shaking, severely shivering from that flicker, but it did keep him alive to fight another day, and that also means that EVOS SG will find it harder to transition that particular collapse into anything else.
And we're looking at all these members resetting this fight. And VEC Fantasy Main, they know that they cannot afford to commit in any of these battles for the time being. And look at them go. JPL always getting all these sort of great advantages against VFM. And now, speaking of him, he's just going to be eyeing out on towards the lower side of the jungle. And Lucky's going to push them all the way back. Flicker has been forced away from the side of Ace. And look at JPL, still trying to trade all the way back. And they've already got all the information that they need, while Tamas is having a little bit of solo time 1v1 over on the top side against that Masha. So nothing much has actually concluded out of that sort of tickle in between the way. But over there, Bambi is not even giving themselves any sort of good time at all as they try to take down the second turret over on the bottom side.
With meteor shower from high, managed to clear the entire minion wave, and Kimi Potato taking a bit too much damage, but now the 1 versus 1 continues. It's just a brute fight for both top laners.
Well, not only for the top laners, it's going to be a little bit of that river action as well. T-Max almost getting himself in the way of landing a Divine Judgment. Oh, it's going to be a 1v1 commitment, but Soul will definitely bail out of this.
Ooh.
And Flicker being popped here, and of course not that much of a decision. But look at old year Bambi coming with the ult, and that will be a rival out of that in just a split second of the time. Well, I would say great plays coming from both sides.
And second turtle going to VEC Fantasy Main. TD forced out the flicker from Seoul, gets the arrival, avoided Odia Bambi. That was just perfect game sense from this Stamos. And even though right now EVOS has a slight goal lead, but those turtles are going to add up eventually. And T-Max gets the Divine Judgment. That is 1 view on the valley. It's going to be 2 because of the Hurricane Dash. They find the Grok as well. Zhao Piao not going to survive that, and Odia Bambi has to get the heck out of that fight.
Whoa, he's walking into his trap, and what was he thinking cutting back in towards the brush? He could have just walked inside of the jungle, but oh dear, Bambi making a little bit of a slight mishaps here, and EVOS somehow losing that lead. And speaking of lost lead, let's have a look into what just happened right here on the corners. And not only that sort of kill, look at Bambi. He hopped right back in and he walked through the edge of the brush, which is something that should not be made in that sort of scenario. Now, EVOS at least get a little bit of that trade back or consolation prize over the lot.
Or maybe not.
Oh, yep, maybe not.
So they found him with a Deadly Sonata, and So will have his soul claimed. And Hyde will find him. Xiao Piao again caught up by the Divine Judgment. They try to finish him off, but Tini pops that ultimate. The rest of EVOS now coming out to back out. T-Max is going to get gunned down by Potato, but Hyde with a meteor shower will rain on top of Esmeralda. And oh dear, Bambi. EVOS actually not having a good time in this one.
Oh, this is definitely very unlikely of the playstyle of old dear Bambi. He hardly make this sort of mishap across the battlefield, and now he's 0-2 down in this early phase. But of course, it's still not too much of a huge deficit. But in terms of goal, we see that power spike headed towards Savisi, but Lucky is gonna get caught out with that wall charge. And oh my goodness, we talk about Lucky. Yes, he is indeed very, very lucky.
Meanwhile, for Broly, maybe not the same treatment, but back up is there. T-Max protects this Granger, gets him out of safety. The EVOS SG, it seems like the jitters might be slowly getting onto them. They know that they have the entire pride, the entire weight of two nations on their shoulders.
And of course, this is not the only EVOS team that's around. There's also EVOS Indonesia, of course known as EVOS Legends. Here, look at that sort of swing of a goal, suddenly in the favor of VEC Fantasy. And wow, things have definitely turned red. And VEC Fantasy Main wants to fly the red flag with the stars right in between. And look at JPL already about the corners here, and this is way too much for VFM, for him to actually deal with VFM. That's going to be the side being bought there by old dear Bambi, but Tiny only pretty much low. He could not actually contest with the Masha for any longer, but Towers has been lost, and VFM here is just taking absolute control of those river.
Oh, they found Old Bambi! Old Bambi instantly assassinated once more. That is the third time they caught this Esmeralda with his pants down, and VFM, they did not hesitate to jump on him. And meanwhile, another man fight is against the Masha, and Thomas against one. Lucky not gonna make it fair for him, and So will lose his life, and EVOS SG falling apart across the entire map.
One after another getting caught out is not looking good for the side of EVOS Singapore, as we see 7-2 in favor of VEC Fantasy Main. And of course, Tiny getting even more tough to deal with in towards the late phase here. And we're seeing members of EVOS now once again on the back foot, but can they defend? We talk about the Great Wall, or in that sort of sense, the great defensive strats that we see from EVOS SG. Could they pull one up and perhaps come back in this game?
They will need to rebuild the wall at this point, because VFM, with every single passing second, they're getting closer and closer to that crystal, that structure that EVOS actually desperately needs to hold on with their life. But VFM, we talk about their efficiency with objectives. Under 9 minutes, they're going onto that Lord EVOS SG. They don't have a way in, and this is a free Lord for VFM.
VFM here is securing what they need to end the game. But of course, this is just Lord level 1, which may not be the tankiest of it all, but it should be sufficient enough for them to go in for a great setup. As we look at the wave, it has already been pushing from the top side as well, and we see Soul running for his life, and Potato still getting some of all these items out as well. Now, 9 minutes into the game, but EVOS SG now on the back foot here, and they desperately need this one win to actually get at least that tie into their hands. But if they do win VEC Fantasy right here, which means that up to head-to-head, they will still be above VEC. So it's really down to the wire, do or die moment for the members of EVOS. But same with VFM here, getting that huge confidence of that previous game, and now we're seeing a 1v1 on the bottom.
The disarm does come up from Soul, but Tay just does not care. It's gonna eat it for breakfast. Solo kill. And meanwhile, JLPL has to run away, but they will find him with the final shot from Broly. 2 down for EVOS SG. The wall builder has been taken out of the picture for a good amount of time. Another meteor shower is going to be a celebratory ultimate for now.
Well, now things are looking pretty bleak, but there's still members alive. It's all up to the Valor, Esmeralda, as well as Kimi to hold the fortress right here. And well being bought there from the side of Thomas as well. And now
VFM.
they're committing to actually go in for the pull. And Tiny already having a little bit of
They want
minutes.
this end.
They're going to end this game.
They're
Oh my
gonna end
goodness, they're turning things around.
The defense is coming in from EVOS SG. They're going to play from behind, but VFM, all they see is red. It's Vietnam written all over the scoreboard, and they will survive. The war has...
We saw EVOS getting that lead, and slowly with a couple of mistakes, and then VFM punished them for it, and now we're seeing Hyde as the MVP of this matchup.
They just got all the picks that they need, and they capitalized on that advantage. EVOS SG, I wouldn't say that it was an outdraft. I would say